What's up, interwebs? It's your realtor, Jeremy. We are back to our regularly scheduled Tuesday market updates, ready for the first real one in 2020. Let's look at Chandler and Gilbert. And first, let's take a look at the graph for Chandler. So as you can see, the red line is kind of indicative of the inventory levels we've had. Started out really high in February and have just consistently gone down since then. Kind of leveled off a little bit, but we're still going down. We do have a handful of new stuff coming on, so the inventory levels are starting to maybe come back a little bit. We'll see. The new listing, you can see the tan line there, they dipped really harshly at the end in December, so that's kind of why we're sitting where we are. Listing prices have consistently gone up in Chandler, as you can see, just keep ticking up aside from that one blip in September. Pretty steady trajectory upwards. Absorption rate, as we've said, because of inventory levels being low, we are just under 1.2 months of inventory in Chandler. Days on market, we do see a little tick up there in December, and I think part of that was because of the number of million-plus houses that sold in December, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. Here's our numbers. The average sale price was $386,669, up from $356,460. That's about an 8.5% change. If we look at the year-to-date number, which kind of mellows things out a little bit, we're looking at $363,23, up from $346,632, about 4.73% change. That's a little more indicative of the general appreciation we're seeing. I don't think we're seeing 8%, but I think we're generally seeing about that 5% appreciation, which is still really, really good. Higher than we were expecting this year. Here's the spread of the houses that were sold. The bulk of them in the 300 to 400 range, as we are accustomed to. But look here at the 1.25 to 3 million. We had 3 sold versus 0 last year. Also, you notice the totals. We sold more houses in December than we did last year. So the buyers are still there. The buyers are definitely there. We're just a little short on inventory. Let's look at Gilbert. Gilbert's a touch different from Chandler in a couple areas, and I'll point those out. First, obviously, we've got the trend of the active listings going down. As you can see, the new listings definitely bottomed out, but the buyers haven't changed much. As you look at that graph, the black line, which is what's sold, that's kind of indicative of buyers are kind of steady. It's the listings that are being a little more volatile right now. Sold prices here, you've got a little bit of them up and down, but generally you can see it kind of flatlined at the end. That's where it differs a little bit from Chandler. Chandler's just been consistently ticking up. This is kind of, if you draw a line through it, if you draw just to kind of even it out, it kind of flatlines a little bit. We'll see how that progresses as we get into the new year. Absorption rate, a little different in Gilbert. Gilbert's actually under a month of inventory. Now, it doesn't exactly equate to that because we do have price points that sit on the market longer. Those wouldn't disappear, but it's a good indication of where inventory levels are at and an indication of whether it's a seller or buyer's market. Under 3 months, seller's market. Definitely seller's market. Days on market, we had a little bit of an uptick in December as well. I think, if I remember from looking at the slides earlier, I think there's a little bit of an uptick in some of the higher value houses, but that's where we tend to see that most happen on days on market, is when we see a really high-end house sold because they tend to sit on the market so long. Here's the numbers: 385, 428, up from 360, 364, about a 7% change. And then year-to-date, 380,206, up from 356, 674, a little over 6.5% change. So the month-to-month versus the year-to-date is a pretty similar comparison in Gilbert. And then the spread of houses, again, 300 to 400 is the bulk of them at 181 sold. We did have a couple more high-end houses sell, so maybe that uptick is a little more indicative of just the general market in Gilbert. We'll have to wait and see how that days on market pans out. But similar to Chandler, 412 sold versus 353. So anyway, that's it, guys. That is your Tuesday market update. Trying to keep them back in like the 5-minute range. and let you guys know what's going on. Next week, we will take a look at Mesa and Tempe and let you guys know what's going on in that part of the town. As you guys know, I believe you deserve a better quality experience. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, or you know someone who is, I'd love to connect with you and show you how I can deliver on that promise of a better quality experience. You guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you back here next week on the Tuesday Market Update. Bye, guys.